The story of Nazi gold is one of greed, plunder, and tragedy. It is a tale that has fascinated historians and treasure hunters alike for decades. It's a story intertwined with the horrors of World War II and the systematic persecution of Jews across Europe. The Nazis' relentless pursuit of wealth was not just about funding their war efforts. It was also about asserting dominance and instilling fear. The Nazis' insatiable appetite for gold fueled their war machine and left a trail of devastation in its wake. They looted banks, museums, and private collections, amassing a fortune that would be used to further their destructive ambitions. This essay will delve into the reasons behind the Nazi regime's obsession with gold. We will uncover the economic, political, and ideological motivations that drove them to such extremes. We'll explore how they acquired vast quantities of it, often through brutal and inhumane means. The confiscation of gold and other valuables was systematic and ruthless, targeting not only Jewish communities but also occupied territories and political enemies. The essay will also examine the devastating human cost, particularly for Jewish victims who were stripped of their possessions, their dignity, and ultimately, their lives. The loss of material wealth was just one aspect of the broader tragedy that befell millions. Finally, we'll look at the efforts made after the war to recover this stolen wealth and return it to its rightful owners. These efforts were fraught with challenges, as the gold had been hidden, transported, and often melted down to obscure its origins. Despite these endeavors, much of the Nazi gold remains unaccounted for, leading to enduring myths and legends about hidden treasures. Stories of secret caches and lost fortunes continue to spark the imagination and drive ongoing searches. These stories continue to captivate and intrigue, serving as a reminder of the enduring legacy of this dark chapter in human history. The quest for Nazi gold is not just about wealth, it is about uncovering the truths of a painful past and seeking justice for those who suffered. To understand the Nazis' relentless pursuit of gold, we must first understand their ideology and ambitions. The Nazi regime under Adolf Hitler was driven by a vision of a vast and powerful empire, one that would dominate Europe and eventually the world. Hitler's Germany was driven by a desire for expansion and dominance. This vision was not just about territorial gains, but also about economic supremacy and military might. This ambition required a powerful military and a robust economy to support it. The Nazis knew that to sustain their war efforts and their grandiose plans, they needed vast amounts of resources. Gold, with its universal value and acceptance, was seen as the key to achieving these goals. It was not just a symbol of wealth, but a practical asset that could be used to buy weapons, fuel, and other essential supplies. Traditional economic principles were often disregarded by the Nazi regime. They implemented policies that prioritized their war machine over the well-being of their own citizens. However, gold played a crucial role in financing their war effort. It was a stable and reliable form of currency that could be used in international transactions. It allowed them to purchase essential materials and resources from neutral countries that were unwilling to accept their devalued currency. These transactions were vital for maintaining their war efforts. Gold became the lifeblood of the Nazi war machine. Without it, their ability to wage war on such a massive scale would have been severely hampered. The Nazis recognized that a war of conquest could be partially financed through plunder. They systematically looted the gold reserves of the countries they invaded. Gold reserves held by conquered nations became prime targets. These reserves were seized and transported back to Germany to fuel the Nazi war effort. The Nazis believed they were entitled to these riches as part of their vision for a new European order, with Germany at its head. They saw themselves as the rightful rulers of Europe. This relentless pursuit of gold would drive the Nazis to commit acts of unspeakable cruelty and barbarity, leaving a permanent stain on history. The human cost of their greed and ambition was immense, and the scars of their actions are still felt today. The Nazis' campaign of gold acquisition began almost immediately after Hitler's rise to power. This was not just a quest for wealth, but a strategic move to fund their expansive war machine and solidify their grip on Europe. Their first target was Austria, annexed in 1938. The Anschluss marked the beginning of a relentless pursuit of gold and other valuable resources. The Austrian National Bank was swiftly seized, and its gold reserves transferred to German control. This was a significant boost to the Nazi treasury, providing them with the financial means to further their aggressive expansion. This set a chilling precedent for what was to follow. The systematic looting of national treasuries became a hallmark of the Nazi occupation. As the Nazis marched across Europe, their hunger for gold only intensified. Each conquered nation was stripped of its wealth, leaving a trail of economic devastation in their wake. Countries like Czechoslovakia, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Italy all fell victim to their systematic plunder. The Nazis showed no mercy, targeting both public and private assets. Central banks were emptied, private citizens were forced to surrender their gold, and Jewish businesses and homes were ransacked. The confiscation of Jewish property was particularly brutal, as families were stripped of their life savings and heirlooms. The scale of the theft was staggering. The sheer volume of gold and other valuables taken was unprecedented in modern history. Belgium, for example, lost over 200 tons of gold to the Nazi regime. This massive loss crippled the Belgian economy and had long-lasting effects on the nation's financial stability. The Netherlands suffered a similar fate, stripped of nearly 140 tons of its gold reserves. The economic impact was devastating, leaving the country struggling to recover for years after the war. These stolen riches were funneled back into the German war effort, used to purchase vital materials like tungsten and high-grade fuel. The gold financed the production of weapons, ammunition, and other essential supplies needed to sustain the Nazi war machine. The Nazis' insatiable appetite for gold knew no bounds, and their actions would have devastating consequences for the people and economies of the countries they occupied. The legacy of their plunder left deep scars that would take decades to heal. The human cost of the Nazis' greed for gold is perhaps the most tragic part of this story. Jewish communities across Europe were systematically targeted. Families were torn apart, their homes and businesses looted, and their personal belongings, including gold, were seized. The Nazis' policies of racial purity and economic exploitation intersected in horrifying ways, as Jews were stripped not only of their wealth, but also of their humanity. The gold taken from Jewish victims was often melted down and recast, erasing its origins and making it impossible to trace. This dehumanization extended to the concentration camps, where prisoners were forced to work under brutal conditions, and any gold fillings or jewelry they had were taken from them. The loss of life and dignity was immense, and the scars left by these atrocities are still felt today. The pursuit of gold by the Nazi regime serves as a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the enduring impact of their actions on millions of lives. During the Second World War, the Nazis amassed an extraordinary amount of wealth, much of it stolen from the countries they occupied. This treasure trove included gold, jewelry, and priceless art. The sheer scale of the looting was, well, staggering. The Nazis meticulously documented their plunder, hiding it in secret locations across Europe. After the war, the Allied forces undertook massive efforts to recover the stolen wealth. Teams of investigators scoured Europe, following leads and tips. They discovered hidden caches of gold in mines, caves, and even in the depths of lakes. The recovery process was slow and fraught with challenges, but it was crucial to restoring stolen property to its rightful owners. Over the years, numerous myths and legends have sprung up around Nazi gold. Some say vast amounts of gold are still hidden, waiting to be discovered. Stories of secret codes, buried treasure, and mysterious disappearances have captured the imagination of treasure hunters and historians alike. While many of these tales remain unproven, they continue to fuel speculation and intrigue. The legacy of Nazi gold endures to this day. It serves as a stark reminder of the atrocities committed during the war and the lengths to which the Nazis went to finance their regime. Efforts to trace and return the stolen wealth continue, driven by a commitment to justice and historical accountability. The story of Nazigold is a testament to the resilience of those who seek to right the wrongs of the past. Thank you for watching The Mystery of Hitler's Nazigold Unveiled. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more historical mysteries and fascinating stories. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. See you in the next video.